Okay, we are back. We are back. First thing is first, let's check out what's going on in the world. Check some news. Okay, it's not a bad week. Not a lot of news going on, so market probably won't be as volatile as look at this is next week. It's a lot of news, so this is like more volume in the markets. I guess it's still like July 4th weekend, kind of. I mean, the weekend is done, but people are slowly coming back to normalcy. So we'll see what today and tomorrow bring. Doesn't look like it's gonna be a lot of like impacting news, but you never know. Just keep an eye out on that. Sometimes they're just like things pop up. There be surprise conferences. So we will see. Let's check out the morning wrap. What's going on? Okay. So the morning wrap. Everyone can see this. Okay, perfect. The dollar is strengthening due to Trump's threat to impose an additional 10% tariffs. The U.S. president has stated that countries supporting the BRICS alliance policy, which is contrary to U.S. interests, will be subject to an additional unconditional 10% tariff. Man, this guy's just playing bully ball. Just tariffs left and right. Bro, the U.S. is a stronghold, man, in the world. It's so crazy. Um, what else? Trump has announced that letters regarding tariffs and our agreements will be delivered on July 7th at 12 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so that could potentially influence the currency because the Trump is giving an announcement like how I was saying earlier on the on Forex calendar. There's nothing really going on, but there could be a surprise like news conference or Trump could tweet. So you always have to pay attention to um, not necessarily Twitter, but you can find a lot of breaking news on Twitter, obviously, as we all know. But yeah, news can pop up out of nowhere. So that's why I like checking the morning wrap because it gives like headlines and things that Forex Factory doesn't really show. But we'll keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna be at the market by 9 p.m. or 9 p.m. West Coast, 12 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, announced letters regarding tariffs and or agreements. Interesting. In addition, Trump's administration officials have confirmed the extension of negotiation on tariffs. Okay. The Japanese yen is also losing ground today. In May, real wages fell by 2.9% year on year, the sharpest decline in nearly 2 years, and the fifth consecutive monthly decline. Okay, okay. So what I can get from here, the information I can gather is that the dollar is going to be strong this week. So I usually only trade Euro USD. Sometimes I look at GBP USD. Both of those pairs they kind of mirror each other for like 90% of the time. So that's the reason why I like to trade both of those ones because if Euro USD is bullish, then GBP USD is probably doing the same thing. But now we'll just go to the land of the charts to see what is going on. What's going on with Euro USD? So I like to start at the I like to really start at the monthly. In the monthly, what am I looking for? Usually monthly, I'm just looking at direction. Externally, we've been bearish. Market's making highs, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Some consolidation here. Lower high, a low, lower high, lower low, consolidation. Now we have this this lower high, and then we'll see what we got forming up here. This is on the monthly. We're not too worried about that because we don't trade monthly. We trade on I'm an intraday trader, so I really focus on 15 minutes and below, but I like to go from the top down to see, the overall narrative of the market. So overall, we are bearish, but that is on the monthly. So we can drop down to the weekly. And in the weekly, I like to check for any like liquidity points. Where can market eventually go to? So if you look left, you can see this is a liquidity point that market potentially could come to. So I like to just mark things out. To the right. Let's see how many pips this is away, because we might not even be really close. Okay, 195. Not bad. So we have liquidity there resting, and we have liquidity at these highs. So I'll just mark this. Out. And what else can we see? Can see, so if we go here, I'm not really too worried about the weekly. I just like to look at liquidity here and direction. So overall market direction was bearish, but it's been on a bull run since February. So can we see? Actually, let me move mine. Okay, here's February. So from February to now, we've been bullish. Okay, I can drop down to the daily. Daily is making with these lower highs, or excuse me, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So on a daily, we can see some really clean market structure. Trying to see if we can find any potential zones. I can delete this. We already know market is bullish. But also with that news, if the dollar is strengthening, then market would have to go down. Euro USD would have to go down if that's the case. So we'll keep an eye out on that, because right now market structure is making, it's potentially making that second leg down. So it's been doing this, higher high, higher low, higher high. It could be now making that higher low. So that's why I want to keep an eye out on that. If the dollar is strengthening, then we should see price come down to form that higher low by the end of the throughout the week, I would say. So let's say from here to here, potentially market would have to come down to, because what is below price here? On the daily, we can see there is some liquidity right here that has not been swept. So market could come and just grab and use that as fuel to go back up. So I'll leave that there. I can remove this. And so I'll also label this as a demand zone on a higher time frame. So we could do like this. And I'll label this let's see, daily demand zone. Okay, so we have a zone there. Now let's drop down to the 15. What can we see? Is there any liquidity points that has not been taken yet? We can see some liquidity here. We can see this has not been swept yet. Liquidity. And that's the only liquidity point I can see. So I'll drive into the 4-hour. So I'm just creating a narrative right now, trying to see which direction market could potentially go towards, and who's in control. Are the buyers in control or the sellers in control? So using our higher time frame narrative, we can see that buyers currently are in control of this market, because this market has been a bullish market for majority of the month. But with that news coming out today, we could potentially see the dollar strengthen and the euro weaken. So as I mentioned earlier, market structure, fairly simple. Higher highs, higher lows. So my prediction is that we're gonna make this low due to the strength of the dollar, and then we will find something. We'll try to find something within this leg right here. We'll try to find lower highs and lower lows being formed here that we can take advantage of. And there goes the T. 1 second. Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can find some shorts, some selling opportunities. I'll delete that. I'll also take a look at the dollar index. I like looking at this as well, just to see the strength of the dollar. So on the 4 hour, let's see, the dollar's declining. It's making these lower highs and lower lows in the market. Right now, it looks like the dollar has some momentum to go to the upside. I'm not too worried about liquidity at this point. I don't think the index moves like that. Just based off market structure, I can see it's making these lower high, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high. Then this change of character here. Higher, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then right now it's looking like market is gonna make that higher high. So then if we go back, to Euro USD. Euro USD looking like it's gonna make that next leg downwards. So let's go to GPU, because GBP, excuse me. So GBP and Euro USD, they pretty much move the same. So GBP is also looking like it's coming bearish. It's going down. I won't focus too much on this. I like to focus on one chart at a time. So here we have our overall narrative. We see there's liquidity above us, liquidity below us. In order for price to move back up, it would need to grab liquidity here and potentially come all the way down here towards this daily demand zone before it can make a way back up to grab liquidity here. Possibly that could be what's going on. And that would just continue this overall bullish movement. Yeah, price coming down here and sweeping would still it would still be a what am I looking for? Higher low. Yeah, it's still making a higher low here, because it wouldn't be, unless it breaks here, then we would be actually moving the opposite direction. But for right now, I believe we are going bearish. We are gonna be going down. So let's drop down to the 1 hour. See what's going on here. On the 1 hour is when I like to drop my 6 a.m. vertical line. So right now it's 6:21. So if I can find an opportunity to short, I will take it. So what can I see on the 1 hour? Any points of liquidity here that hasn't been swept? There's this right here. It's looking like it did get swept. We have liquidity resting right here. And we're just looking for price to come down and sweep these lows before it makes a move back to the upside. So let's drop down to the 15. I'll put this, actually, I'll center this. Cool. So what can we see price doing right now? So yesterday market opened, price did come down and sweep this Asian high here, and also Asian high here, or excuse me, Asian low. It swept the Asian lows, and there's one last liquidity point actually that has not been swept. Let me show. It's right here. What I usually like to look at if we're entering a trade is the direction, any liquidity points I could find, and any zones I can find. So we have our overall direction. Overall direction on the monthly was bearish, but we don't trade monthly. We trade lower time frame. Interday trader. That's what I am. So I look for moves within my session. Not too focused on the 4-hour time frame, the daily, the weekly, stuff like that. I just like to look at those time frames to get an overall idea of where market could be going. So we found our direction. Internally we are bullish. Externally we're bearish, and that just means externally is just overall the market is going down, but the market moves in waves. So the internal structure would be bullish. So, but every time frame has its own bias. So on the 4-hour, it could look like it's going bullish, but on the 1-hour, it could be looking like it's bearish. So we try to just find overall direction at the 1-hour, the 15-minute, but the entry is always going to be on the 1 minute. So we will let market do its thing for a bit. And right now, we can see that market has made some unintentional movement right here in London session. And a sweep of these lows, and a sweep of the highs, and then it's made it's revealed its hands right here. This here is the extension. So the overall move is bullish or bearish, excuse me. Right now we can see the same thing: unintentional movement, liquidity sweep of these lows, and then extension to the upside. So now we'll wait for the same thing: unintentional movement, a sweep, and then we'll wait for the extension to happen. And that's just the liquidity phases. So liquidity moves like this. Let me write it out. 1. We have our unintentional. How do you spell unintentional? Unintentional. Yeah, I don't know. It's early, man. I'm not the best speller. Movement followed by our sweep, followed by our reveal of market intent. And this is on the 15 here. So let's see what we can see on the 10-minute, 5-minute. One minute. Yeah. On the 15, I like to label out what I'm seeing. So here I'd say was the unintentional movement occurring. Unintentional movement. Sweep. Liquidity sweep. And when I mean sweep, I mean sweeping these lows here. These lows, and then here is the real market intent. So there's some questions I'd like to ask myself before I enter a trade. I like to see where I'm at in the market phase. And market phase has let me see. This is unintentional movement. Let me label it. Liquidity phase. And above that, I'll do market phase. One would be reveal of market. Intent. Two, I would look at the confirmation of internal structure through that's supposed to be through change of character and break of structure, BOS. And then from there, I will look for the completion. Completion of retracement, and then repeat. So I like to ask myself, where am I at in the market phase? I have to put repeat. Yeah, it looks like this. Where am I at in the market phase? Where am I at in liquidity phase? And then where am I at in the session phase? So right now I know I'm in New York session. But where am I at in the market phase? So I would say I'm in phase one, market intent. The market is going up. We'll wait for a confirmation of the internal structure through changing character, and then the break of structure. We'll wait for the completion of the retracement, and then we'll try to find the entry. But before we find that entry, we have to wait for the liquidity phases to play out. Wait for the unintentional movement to happen. Wait for those lows to get swept. And also wait for a zone. Wait for price to come into our either demand zone if we're buying or supply zone if we're selling. So if we have liquidity below us, here, here, and here, that has not been swept, and the liquidity above us is, how far is it away? About 171. It's not likely that market is gonna come here just yet. You know? But we still have liquidity that has not been swept above us. So price could come and sweep these closer liquidity points, like here, for example, this Asian high. But before it gets up here, it needs to have that fuel to reach that high. So from here, from current price to this Asian high is about 50 pips. So if we go back to this tool I really like using, our Forex validity calculator, want to see how many, so this is pretty much helping us find how many pips our pair moves in a day. So let's see. Over the last week. Is it still loading? Let me refresh this. Okay, 57 pips a day. So the likelihood of market, okay, with that information, let's say the likelihood of market moving 50 pips in this session is very unlikely, because that would be the entire day's move, and the day has already started. So let's say the day started at 12 a.m. Excuse me. And already dropped 40 pips. So the likelihood of it moving 50 pips is not very likely. So it'll need fuel. It'll need to go to the nearest, you could say, like, gas station. So if price is a vehicle, it needs fuel. So let's say it goes 19 pips, here is close. 49 pips is close. 55 pips is close. So once price sweeps all this liquidity here, it has enough fuel now to go to the upside. So we'll be looking for shorts, looking for sales. But right now, we haven't seen any confirmation of price coming down and making lower highs and lower lows. There's no change of character yet, and there's no break of structure. So I'll need to wait for that in order to jump into this market. This will be our reveal of market's intent. Then on a 4 hour, I like to see if I can find any demand zones. Only demand zone I can see on a 4 hour because we have our daily demand zone here. Essentially, there's a zone here, there's a zone here. I would say this is actually a nice 4 hour zone. So I'll mark out the top of the zone to the bottom. Do something like that. Delete this. Here we go. So yeah, I'll be looking for price to come down, take these lows here, take these lows here, see what it does, see how it reacts to this 4 hour demand zone. And from here, hoping to see price respect this zone and move up to the upside. Just keep an eye on it. We'll see how it plays out. But for right now, current price is still bullish and no signs of any selling pressure just yet. So I'm gonna wait it out. Probably won't be much, honestly, going on today. There's no news, so price gonna move pretty slowly. And recently I have been looking at gold. You know, gold has been a pair I'm interested in. I just don't want to trade too many pairs. You don't really need, you only really need one, two max. So Three pairs is just like it's too much things to remember. Um, but anytime the dollar is bullish, gold is going down. So I like to keep an eye on what gold is doing as well. But right now, we'll just stick to Euro USD. Yeah, let's see. My honest opinion is that investors are waiting for this letter to be delivered before they really get involved in the market. That's just my opinion. With no news today and tomorrow, I think the investors are waiting for Trump to deliver those letters, and that will be something that moves the market. So this session might not have a lot of liquidity, not a lot of volume, not a lot of movement, but we'll see. So can I see anything being formed here? We do have this trend line liquidity on the 3-minute. Not really important, but this could be used as additional, like take profit. Not take profit. I'm tripping. Additional fuel for market to come and collect before it comes back down. We'll just mark that out. Like this. So now what do we see? I can see some unintentional movement here. All right. So now we're talking about the liquidity phases. We have an unintentional movement. Wait for a sweep. So a sweep of all these lows, and then a reveal of the market intent. What is market gonna do here? Just like on the 1 minute, we had our unintentional movement. You can see price not really breaking anything, not really making any lower highs, lower high, or higher lows, just moving sideways. Then we had the sweep here. And you can also extend this. You could say this was the sweep on the 1 minute. We had a sweep of these highs and also a sweep of these lows here. And we had market making revealing itself here in this kind of like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So now we're just we're waiting for the same thing to happen again. Unintentional movement, a sweep, and then market to reveal itself. And then you want to ask yourself, okay, Once it sweeps, where am I at in the market phase? Am I in step one? Let me actually bring that chart. Let me bring that down. Where I move it. Here it goes. Where am I at in the market phase? So it revealed its market intent, where it's a confirmation of the internal structure, and then where's completion of the retracement. So right now, it's looking like we are in that phase 3, the completion of the retracement. So wait for the market intent to happen again, but before that, we have to get that sweep of maybe these highs. Maybe these highs up here. Let's just keep an eye out. This is still looking like unintentional movement for now. It's looking like price is coming to sweep these highs. Look like it did. It swept this high. I need a clean sweep of everything. That's what I'm waiting on. Yes. So this week, hopefully, it's not too slow of a week, but slow is not always bad. We can always find an opportunity in the market. 10% of the market is buying, 10% of it is selling, 80% of it is waiting. So majority of the time, we're waiting for that setup to happen. now you can kind of see that market is coming to sweep those lows. So we have our sweep. And now I want to see market form some type of bullish structure. Because if we don't get the change of character here, I believe this. I believe the buyer is going to still be in control, and they're going to push this market up. So we have our sweep, and now we're waiting for the reveal of the market intent. So just like in our example here, after the unintentional movement, we had our sweep, and then market started to form this bullish market structure. How big was this move from here to here? From here to here, decent move, 16 pips. This is our sweep. Here we have our sweep. We have some liquidity here that price most likely will come and get. And then there's some liquidity down here, but I don't believe price will come all the way down here. I think it'll just come here, sweep that, and then continue going up. Okay. See if market structure maybe can be formed here. Let's see. So it's looking like it's making that. It's making market structure is making these higher highs and higher lows here. Say up here, some consolidation, higher low. Possibly making a bearish leg to the upside right now. Let's see if we can get in. But I'll wait for that second leg to form. This is still the first leg. This could also be a lower high, you know. So we need to wait for some confirmation. Also here there's some liquidity resting that has not been swept. So price could easily just invite early buyers to start buying here and then just come back and take them out. So there's some liquidity down here, so I'll wait for that to get swept. And then wait for an inducement here, and I can jump in. Just clean this up. So there are, it looks like there are buyers right now trying to push this market up, but you know, there's some liquidity down here that needs to be swept before we can make that move. So that's what I'll be waiting on. And I'll go to the 2 minute, 3 minute, see what's going on. Yeah, not a lot of buying pressure, you know, on the 3 minute. See the 5. And we have this big bearish candle here, which could just mean that, you know, sellers are still in the market. So we need to be aware of that. But I'll wait. I'll just wait. I won't try to get in too early. I can see buying pressure. Buying pressure is kind of slowing down. Yeah, I really want to see price come down here, collect this liquidity, and then make its move. But for right now, there's really no clear demand zone I can see on that on the 1 minute. Can't see a zone to enter from. So I'll need to wait for more confirmation to just hop before I hop into this trade. Because this is very, very, very likely to also be just a no trade session. I'm not chasing any trades. Just if I see it, I'll take it. But if I don't see it, I'm not gonna force it. Because it is Monday, and it is the first day of the trading week of for me at least. So if I don't find nothing in New York, I'll wait for London. Wait for London to open, because I usually catch my best trades in London. So I'm not too worried if I don't see anything new. I really don't see an opportunity in the market. So I don't want to just trade just to trade. I don't want to trade just to say I traded today. You know. But I'll give it another hour. I'll give it another hour. I don't find nothing by 8s. Most likely I'll just call it good. You can see on the 1 minute that the buyers are trying to push this market up, but it looks like sellers are still in control. Yeah, now price is very choppy. So we had our sweep, and now we have the reveal of the market intent. This is what it's intending to do right now. With these lows still here, not really looking to jump in anything. So on the 2 minute, we'll see how the 2 minute, how this 2 minute candle closes. That'll give me a better idea of where market wants to go. Yeah, so this market is showing us that buyers, they wanted to push the market up, but sellers eventually came back down and took back control. So like I mentioned before, market could also be making lower highs and lower lows because it failed to make a new higher high. Market failed to come up here and make a new higher high. And it did change character here, so we could be seeing a shift to the downside, collect some more liquidity before this bullish movement continues. Yeah, we could be seeing market coming down here, here, and here before we see any real movement back to the upside. So now what can we see? We can see more unintentional movement here. So looking for that liquidity sweep. So it doesn't look like market is intending to move to the upside. As you can see here, it tried to move to the upside, but there wasn't enough momentum to make a new high. So most likely we'll be looking to come down, collect here, and collect here, which is what I wanted to see before we took a buy. I wanted to see price come, collect liquidity down here. Yeah, it's looking like this support right here is holding up. I'll delete this. I want too much stuff on my chart. But yeah, we can see unintentional movement forming, and we'll wait for the sweep to happen. So you can see the highs got swept. Still intentional movement here. I also see prices actually coming up to make a push to the upside. There's not a lot of volume right now in the market just because not a lot of news this week. So the moves will be short, but it's still there will still be opportunity for a trade for us to enter a trade. But if it's not this session, then it's always going to be another session. Yeah, what I want to see is a change of character and a break of structure, to this downside, and then for it to complete its retracement, and then from there take buys. Right now, there's really not clear market structure. It's just looking like price is trying to make. Price just wants to go. It wants to go bullish, but not enough fuel. So this was our reveal of market intent. Right here we had our unintentional movement, and then we had our sweep of our highs. Then now we have the sweep of the lows. This is gonna be the same phase, same liquidity phase. Unintentional movement, sweep, reveal of market intent. So I want to see price come down here. And collect this liquidity, and then potentially move back to the upside. Unintentional movement. Say this whole thing was unintentional movement. Sweep. Now reveal the market intent. There's also some liquidity here that got left behind. Looks like price is kind of stuck in this this supply zone right here. It's just coming and testing, rebounding, testing, rebounding. So want to see if price can break through here and we can catch some movement to the upside, or it'll just show us a change of character, break a structure, and confirm a move to the downside. We'll see. I don't really know who's in control right now in this session, but the overall direction right now, or the internal direction, is bearish. So I want to follow this trend here. So it's looking like prices coming and rejecting here. as you can see. And there are some liquidity points below us. So that'd be a good reason for price to come back down and collect here and here and here. Yeah, collect here and here. So let's go back to the 1 minute. Can we see price does come down to collect this liquidity point? So I marked up from the top of the zone to the low. So this could be used as our 1 minute supply. We had an unintentional movement, a sweep of these highs, and then the reveal of market intent. So let's see if we can catch maybe a sell to the downside, cover these highs up here, and then take price maybe a 1 to 3. Or we take it to this right here. Give us a good 1 to 4. So I have my intentional movement, liquidity sweep, reveal the market intent. So now I'll wait for another intentional movement, a sweep, and then enter. Yeah, wait for a change of character back to the upside, let it complete its retracement, and then take the sell. And this is pretty much what I stick to. The market phases, liquidity phases, and then our session cycle. price here again is making some unintentional movement. Here we had the unintentional movement, the sweep of these highs, and the reveal of the market intent to the downside. These are all pretty small moves. So now same thing, unintentional movement. Can we get a sweep of these highs? Maybe this high gets swept. Or maybe just these highs. Both would be nice. But we'll see if we can get a sweep of the highs. And then a move to the downside. We'll see. Just gotta wait. Okay, we got an intentional movement, a sweep of these lows, and let's wait for the market intent. If we can get a sweep of these highs, that'd be a good entry point. But the thing is, there's no real zone I'm entering. That's my other thing. Unless price comes back up here, I could say, okay, it came back to a 1 minute supply zone. I don't want to take it in like no man's land. So this would be the ideal entry for me. I'd have my 1 minute supply, had my change of character, my break of structure, then the completion of the retracement. Alright. And then my entry. And we're still making unintentional movement. We swept these lows. Let's see if we can sweep the highs. And then make our way down to the downside. Yeah, there hasn't been any sweep of these highs here or these highs here. So I'm not really interested in taking any shorts right now. But we'll see if we can get up to these levels here. Yeah, I really do think investors are waiting for that letter to be delivered before they make the real move. So probably gonna hold off for right now. Okay, we can see the sweep of the high. Let's see, sweep of the high, which is good, a good sign. If we can get a sweep of these highs right here, that'd be nice too. Before we take a move to the downside. But it did sweep, so let's sweep these highs here, which is good to see, and then I'll just cover these highs. So we'll enter here, enter here on this 1 minute supply, the sweep of these highs here, and we had our unintentional movement, our sweep. Now we're waiting for the reveal of the market intent. So I want to take this probably down to like these lows here. Price could come and just take out this high before it makes that move down. We shall see. Price did come and sweep these highs up here. And let's see what it decides to do now. Can we get a push to the downside from here? Let's see. There's a lot of bullish momentum going on. So this candle should close about 5 seconds. It's a 2-minute candle. And we're looking for a push to the downside. From here. Let's see. We got our unintentional movement, our sweep. And it's looking like this doesn't want to go down. Yep. So we got stopped out. It's all good. Yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't look like price was ready to come back down yet. It should come back down maybe after this this session is, closes, after that letter that Trump let me see, what was the news again? Yeah, and that's that letter regarding tariffs will be delivered. Yeah, we'll see, because that'll give the dollar strength, and that will bring Euro USD down. So I'll come back again for London session. We'll see. Yeah, these last 5 trades have all been losers. So, and I'm doing an evaluation account. So that 5%, this last loss actually like blew the account. But no worries. It's just part of the game. It's part of it. So I'll end up getting another account for London, and then just learn. I'll learn from this, and just keep going, man. It's all I can really do is learn and keep going. Yeah. Another thing is, I really felt like I didn't enter from the zone I would usually enter from. This 1 minute zone was my like justification, my justification of me entering in a zone. But it wasn't the zones I usually take. These are the zones I usually take. I'll see something like this. Bang. Let's say we're going there-ish, and then we fail to make that low, and we get something like this. We get a change of character here, break another break of structure, and a break of these highs, and then a retest of that. This is where usually I would enter something like this. Price comes here, taps me back in. This I would enter for a buy. So I have my change of character, and then my break of structure here. The low that led to the high that causes BOS. Come back, tap me in, and then I would go. I didn't really see that here. I'll be honest, I didn't really see that here. It was more just unintentional movement. I was pretty much just trying to trade like the liquidity phases. And usually this is what I like to look for: the reveal of the market intent, confirmation of internal structure, through the change of character in BOS, and then completion of retracement. This would be the completion of the retracement, right? A change of character, the BOS, completion of retracement, and then reveal the market intent again. So here on the 15, I was taking, let's hide this. I was following this market structure here, these lower highs, these lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, following that trend, and then every time frame was kind of confirming my bias. Let me see the 10. Here, when you get to the 10, you do see some unintentional movement, liquidity sweep, the reveal of the market intent. You can see the change of character here, and then this would probably be like the break of structure. So this is showing. Let's label this actually. I'd say this was our change of character. It's gonna give me all that. It's good. This was our change of character, and this was our BOS, and but there wasn't any like signs. Maybe if we drop down to a lower time frame, we can see lower time frame confirmation here. I want to say like right here is some lower time frame confirmation for us to get into a buy opportunity. 5 minute drop down, 3 minute. Yeah, I would say like if this is our change of character and this is our BOS, there was an opportunity, let's say right. So this was, let me zoom in. Let's say this was the low that led to this high that caused this BOS. Oh yeah, because this is our, let's say this is our change of character. Maybe not. I would say this was our change of character here, and this was our break of structure. So this was the low that led to this high that caused that BOS. We didn't really see nothing come down, actually. We didn't really see anything. This could also be considered change of character, and this could have been the break of structure. which then would have gave us pretty much a reason to come. Didn't really tap us in, but if we go from the top of the zone to the bottom, it would have tapped us in to go to the upside. But this is just an example of what I usually would trade. But yeah, didn't really see that. Here. Any opportunity to come in and trade. So that's really on me, you know. Like, if I have a strategy and if I have an edge and I'm trying to tweak it, I can't be surprised when it does result in a loss. But it's just learning, more failing. And this one I have to write into my journal, like, what went wrong. I really didn't stick to what I said I was gonna stick to. Yeah, so it looks like price wants to just keep climbing, maybe to reach this liquidity point. That'd be probably the next destination for it. So, yeah, price is not ready to come back down yet. We'll see what that letter does to price. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this session. So I will tap back in London during London. Peace out.